Hey guys, so I've just been doing a lot of research, and I just been thinking about you guys, and I've just wanted to find a way to express some things, and I would really encourage you to watch this and see what I have to say. And I wanted to see if I could touch base with you guys, see if I could do a little evangelism. And I know it's one of those things where you don't really want to get the Bible jammed down your throat, and that's not what I'm here to do. Actually, my first order of business that I'd like to do is actually make an understanding that there has to be a worldly view attached to a biblical view. And you see, if I'm talking with somebody who doesn't already abide by what Scripture says, and if they don't believe it, then going off of Scripture for an argument or a point is a little pointless, really. So the verses that I'm going to use are just going to be what I believe. And I'm going to be getting into some things that I've heard that are pretty common in the house. So this is some of the stuff I've heard, but the first verse I want to bring up is, the Lord has made everything for its purpose, even the wicked for the day of trouble. That's Proverbs 16 verse 4. And as I just read, everything has a purpose, and apparently even the wicked does. So I know a question that comes up a lot is, why does evil exist? And what kind of a good God would make this happen? Alright, now here's what I believe. I'm not going to use Scripture for this. I'm just going to try to make a bridge between a believer and an unbeliever through logic. So what I believe is, I believe that God does not create evil. He allows evil. And the reason that this is that God did not program us to be automatically good. That would be a big hindrance to us, as we would not be free will beings, right? And I think that doing good means showing love, and programmed love is not love, okay? I believe that if something is programmed, especially if love is programmed, how can that be genuine love? You're just doing something that you're told to do. I wasn't made and was told you're gonna love this person. No, it's an emotion I feel, and it's something that I have my free will to do. I love some people, and I have hardened my hearts to other people, and obviously that's wrong, and it's something that I'm not going to get into. So I've talked a bit about true love, and also there is plenty of reassurance that Jesus says that when he comes back, that he will restore the world to what it was like in the Garden of Eden, which was a world where everything is good. And some bigger events like the Holocaust or World War II or some big event like that. I'm going to go a little bit bigger here. Let's ask the question, why did God flood the earth? this could be an evil thing. And when you look at the other examples that I just mentioned, those were given because people like Hitler and Stalin and the people involved in World War II, they used their free will and they were given an opportunity to do good and to love. And God simply did not let that happen. And he allowed it to happen. And through this, I think, our troops grew together and we grew to love each other. And we did end up winning. And I think that's a pretty good sign that justice prevailed at that point. And I think that's great. And yeah, I mean, 6 million people died. It's a horrible thing. And it was allowed to happen. And unfortunately, some of those things are allowed, but eventually they do turn into something good. And instead of looking at the 6 million people that were killed, just imagine if we had lost World War II. Just imagine how many more people would have died in a Holocaust. I mean, can you imagine Germany just going through Europe and just executing entire countries one by one? I mean, we won, so that doesn't have to happen. That's great. So something that could be seen as a bad thing in specific is God flooding the earth. Was this an evil act? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to quote another verse here. And it said, "The Lord saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and every intention and thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." Genesis 6:5. Are we talking about 50% good people, 50% bad people? Are we talking 70-30? We are talking all of the thoughts and actions continually. And God needed a way to reset this. And obviously, he was able to eliminate the evil while still preserving the good things. He preserved the clean animals, and he did preserve humanity in Noah and the Ark, obviously. And if there wasn't this flood that wiped out these people that continually had bad thoughts and things like that, like, what would have happened? I mean, it didn't sound like it was going to get better anytime soon. Something needed to step in, or someone, and God stepped in. Of course, that's what I believe, and that's what the scripture says, and it was kind of like a reset button for humanity, and here we are doing good today. There are people that do good deeds. Which brings me to my last point. This is interesting. Why it's great that God and hell exist. Yes, I think it is a wonderful thing that hell exists. If you remember the verse in Proverbs, we're going to go one verse down. Everyone who is ignorant in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Be assured, he will not go unpunished. Proverbs 16:5. Okay. So, we do have our court systems, and our court systems fail. Our court systems are flawed. Innocent people have been jailed, and criminals have been set free. It is a flawed system. But guess what? The one thing that you can count on is that justice will be served. A perfect justice will be served. And I think that's the great thing about God existing. He is perfect, and He, in His perfection, will make it so the good people reap eternal rewards, and the bad people will be punished. And He knows who those people are. So the person that was wrongly convicted, rotting in jail, he will be lifted on high. And the person that was roaming the earth free, who was a criminal, he'll be punished. And in turn, hell exists for people like Hitler, Stalin, people who were responsible for the Axis powers in World War II, and he does punish them. And now the scenario of, I'm going to go ahead and humor you, if you will, and this is where real logic starts to come in, and I hope that you understand this logic. The logic is, let's imagine that there is no God, okay? So you have pedophiles, murderers, and covetous people, and you have good people. Obviously, I don't believe that there's good. We are all sinners saved by the grace of God alone, and the goodness that we have is things that we've been given by our softened hearts. But we have these two categories of people. If there is no God, right, these people are going to have the same fate. They are just going to die, and that's it. That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And in turn, if there is no God, if there is no hell, what is the point of doing good? I mean, in order to get to the top of humanity's chain, I guess, let's just lie and deceive everybody and get to the top and just not care. Why don't we just steal and pillage and all this stuff and take things by brute force? Like, there's a moral code in humanity somewhere, and I just don't understand how it can be logical that everything just fell into place. So it just so happened that some people are good and some people are evil. So, yes, in conclusion, there is evil because God could not program love or good because it would not be true love or good. And there is a purpose to a hell, and that is that there are evil people and they will be punished, and the earth will be in a state where all is good. And that is so great, and I'm very happy and thankful that there is justice, and that someday that I will be reaping rewards. Of course, none of it to what I have done on my own.